Hello, welcome to the part 3 of my River Modern video. Today I will talk a lot more about the floor plans as well as the indicative pricing which was released by the developer just yesterday. I will also talk a little bit more about the price matrix, something which I have done internally based on my own wishful thinking, and it's not the official pricing yet. So as usual, official pricing will only be out on launch day itself, but nonetheless, I have done up a table to give an indication of what to expect from River Modern. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's do a quick recap on how River Modern is being laid out as a condo. So in this direction, over here, you get the river view. We have one stack over here that gives you the river view on this angle. And this unit gets a river view from the balcony at this angle. Tennis court, grand lawn, 50-meter pool, clubhouse or aka function room area. The main egress will be from the River Green Road right in front of us. Side gate over here to allow you seamless access to Great World MRT station. And if you were to come out from here, you walk in this direction, you will reach Great World City Shopping Mall in less than 5 minutes. So next will be all the floor plans. First and foremost, we do have this 2-bed 1-bath, and of course from the indicative pricing that you're looking at, this will be from 1.548 mil. This unit is of course the non-river fronting option. We have 2 stacks in total. So very efficient dumbbell layout with a dedicated dining space, wall-to-wall width of 3 meters in the living room, something that Guacoland has maintained since their Lentor Mansion days. Next up, of course, we have another unit. So this unit looks a little bit unconventional at first, but nonetheless, it is still a dumbbell layout. The only thing is that this room is positioned over here next to the toilet, simply due to the fact that the developer mentioned in this direction, on the higher floor, you will be able to get partial MBS view, and hence this is being done in such a way to maximize that view for the owner. But other than that, this is a very efficient dumbbell layout with minimal wasted space. The next will be a regular dumbbell layout, 2-bed 2-bath, but this one will have the river facing. Alright, so do expect this unit to be highly sought after, and with the river facing, do expect pricing to be slightly higher as well. Similarly, this is a similar layout, just that with a U-shaped kitchen and at a bigger square footage of 689 versus 678. So even with a similar PSF, this unit will be a little bit more premium price as well. Nonetheless, this one gives you the river facing that everybody likes. Here's a quick comparison for you. 4 units all laid side by side. This is a 2-bed 1-bath. The rest are 2-bed 2-bath. This one has partial MBS view from the room. And then this is basically river view from your living room and your bedroom. So different unit types to cater to different budgets and different needs of each individual buyers. Next, we have the 3 bedrooms. This is a 797 or 800 square feet 3-bedroom unit. It's basically a 3-bed 2-bath configuration or 3-bed compact. You have 2 common rooms here. So it is based on a queen, king kind of a configuration. Even at 8 square meters, if you look at it and the measurements, you can comfortably fit in a queen size bed in this room and yet still have space to walk around. Of course, this unit is designed to be affordable from 2.3 mil, as you can see. So just to give you a bit of a comparison, one of my agency leaders recently sold his 2-bed 2-bath unit at Martin Modern, which was EOP about 5 years ago, for around 2.2 million. So you can see that River Modern actually turns back time to allow buyers to be able to afford now a 3-bedroom harmonized unit for just a fraction of a price more than what a 2-bed 2-bath resale has already done in a similarly 99-year leasehold development within the same enclave. Alright, so this is a 3-bed 2-bath 3 compact. Next, we have the 3-bed 2-bath dumbbell configuration. So this is the unit whereby from the balcony, if you were to stand here, you do get partial river view over here. Other than that, if you realize from the dining, as you are having your meal together with your family, you do get partial view of the river as well. But other than that, this 3-bed 2-bath, actually there are very little to complain about. Very efficient layout. You have a semi-enclosed or a U-shaped kitchen that you can easily enclose by yourself if you want to. Okay, 829 square feet. Then we have a slightly larger variant at 893 square feet. The main difference being this one has a flex room. So this flex room allows the owner to configure it into either a storeroom, a study room, or even a helper's room to fit their respective family's needs. Okay, then of course, we do have this stacked 4 over here that gets the river frontage in that direction. And this layout is a little bit unique because of the fact that the kitchen is located beside the living room. What this means is from the kitchen, you are able to access the balcony, and this particular unit allows for the balcony to be of dual usage. Meaning to say you can, aside from using the balcony as a balcony, you can now use it as your open air yard space. So this unit will actually appeal a lot to owners or who actually love the open air yard space for laundry drying purposes. Okay? And then finally, I have this 3-bedroom premium. This 3-bedroom premium layout, in my personal opinion, is one of the best 3-bedroom layout that you can find in the market currently. Let me explain why. First and foremost, this one provides you with a 5.5 meter wall-to-wall landscape layout. And to give you a bit of a context, a lot of the 3-bedrooms out there are actually in the portrait format. So you get your living and dining front and back with a living room usually of 3 meters wide. Even on the rare occasion you get a landscape layout, this width is usually 5 meters or less. With a width of less than 5 meters, your dining space will actually be very close to the wall, meaning to say people who are sitting beside the wall will have very little room to maneuver. However, with a 5.5 meter width, it gives you ample space to position your furniture accordingly, and yet after that, you are still going to have ample space for you to move around with. So to me, this is a very desirable width. Of course, let me also mention to you that it also gives you the full river frontage. So a family who plans to upgrade to CCR District 9 at River Valley will be able to enjoy that nice view that, you know, a lot of people are after lah. Granted, this unit will not be the most affordable unit, but don't forget, River Valley has traditionally been targeting the high net worth buyers. So I won't be surprised if this particular unit is going to be one of the highly sold and sought after unit within River Modern when it is launched. Next up, why I think this unit is so good is because of, number one, the flex room. Developer is allowing option whether or not the individual buyer wants to have these 3 walls constructed. Of course, but if you have the wall, you can use this as a helper's room, again, use it as a study room or even a storeroom. But don't forget, they already provided you with storeroom or storage space right in front over there. So this one can be really what you call a study room or even a helper's room. Okay, of course, if you do not wish to have these 3 walls constructed, you will get a very wide and open landed property-like kind of a kitchen where you have the option of putting in an island right in the middle if you want to. So if you have the chance to come to the show flat, you will be able to see the show flat in this state, whereby the walls are not constructed, the island is done up right in the middle. It gives you that super nice, super luxurious, super atas feeling of a landed kitchen. Next up, as usual, Guacoland nowadays, they prefer to position the WC, which usually is at the back corner of the kitchen, outside for the owners to use it as a full-fledged bathroom. So the whole idea is this is like an upgraded powder room, whereby you can, of course, take a shower in, because there's going to be shower, what you call the handheld shower being installed within this unit itself. So this automatically becomes something like a upgrader in the sense that now your unit has a powder room, all right, for your guests and visitors and friends to use, whereby if you are the type that prefers not to let them use your common toilet, this kind of a configuration actually just solves your problem. So all in all, with all this flexibility and all this so-called upgrading in place, right, I do feel this is a very, very good own stay unit that, even though the price tag may not be the most affordable within River Modern for a 3-bedroom, it will target those with the budget and those who wants to stay in the River Valley area. This unit is basically the same as the one before, but if you realize there's a slight difference in the square footage, simply because this storage area is probably a little bit larger, and hence overall this foyer space is a little bit larger. But other than that, the unit layout is exactly the same, just that in mirror image. Next up, it will be a side-by-side comparison for you to have a look. And as usual, Guacoland, they are designing different units to cater to different buyers of different budget needs and different living environments. So there is basically something for everybody in River Modern. So now here comes the creme de la creme of River Modern, the 4-bedroom. So we have 2 unit sizes here at River Modern, and both stacks faces the full Singapore River view. All right. First up, of course, we have the 1,004 square feet 4-bedroom unit, and as you can see, it is providing you with a private lift. So both the 4-bedroom in River Modern provides private lift access. And then
you notice the wall-to-wall width of the living room to be 6.5 meters. So just like I mentioned in the 3 bedroom segment that 5.5 meters meaning gives you enough space to place your sofa, dining table and still have space to move around comfortably. Now with 6.5 meters, you basically can just buy chunky sofa, chunky dining table and yet still have that space to move around. Alright? And then you get a very nice enclosed kitchen that if you want to, you can put in a mini island in the middle. And at the back here, you do have, as usual, the enclosed yard space with window access over here and a household shelter or a bomb shelter for your helper. Okay, this will be the back door towards the common lift lobby. But other than that, as you can see, all the common rooms are queen, and the junior master is also another queen size bedroom with a king size master room and walk-in wardrobe over here. So this particular layout is actually very well thought of, well laid out, space saving, and then it has all the features that a premium 4 bedroom should have. Not to mention that this is River Modern within the River Valley area. So this layout actually will attract a lot of attention from the condo upgraders as well as probably the landed downgraders, the CCR landed downgraders who aspires to live in River Valley itself. And finally, this is the, I would say, the cream of the cream of the cream, right? The best of the best of the best. 1,800 square feet. This is true CCR, I would say, luxury development layout and size. This is basically will suit those that have really made it in life. You know, your crypto millionaire, business owners, very successful, high level executives. So this particular layout difference is you get landscape width but portrait layout. Meaning to say this entire space is your living room and this is your dining room. So this whole area is bigger than a 2 bedroom unit in River Model. So imagine this space is the size of your 2 bed, more than your 2 bed 1 bath condo in the same development. And then very spacious and generously sized kitchen. So when you come down to the show flat, you visit the kitchen, you realize that kitchen actually is very spacious. It allows for multiple people to work in the kitchen at the same time. Not to mention you have both a store and a bomb shelter, which means one can be your helper's room, one obviously you use to keep your stuff lah. Then you have a true blue powder room designed to impress. And of course, all the rooms, as usual, common rooms will be queen. Master room, you can put super king or NBA king or whatever, because this is your old school luxury condo size where you can put a king size, you can still put maybe a OSIM chair and then maybe an armchair over here, and yet you still have plenty of space to walk into your wardrobe before you head over to the master bathroom with a bathtub. So this is true blue luxury master bathroom, master bedroom and master bathroom. Alright, then when you even come to the junior master, you realize it's 2.6 meter by 3.5 meter, meaning to say this particular room can even fit in a king size bed if you want to. So this is basically a queen king kind of a layout, dumbbell orientation, hence very efficient in nature and gives you plenty of living space. Basically a lavish unit for those that really have made it in life. And of course, with the best unit, you do get the best facing. Here's the side-by-side comparison, just for you to have a deeper understanding where they stand. So the major difference for these two units is of course the living dining area. One is a landscape layout, whereby this is a landscape but portrait layout. Landscape width but portrait layout. The other thing, of course, will be the master bedroom. This master bedroom is super lavish in terms of its size. King size, OSIM chair, whatever you can. This one, king size, but maybe OSIM chair, we'll need to think about it a little bit. Okay? And then, of course, junior master. This junior master is bigger than this junior master. But other than that, I would say both are very good units, very good layouts. It will be highly sought after by those that have the budget to play around with it. And like I mentioned earlier, River Valley has been an area whereby it is traditionally targeting at the high net worth individual or family. So don't be surprised if the 4 bedrooms, the best units in the development, basically the 4 bedrooms as well as the 3 bedrooms, are fully taken up on launch day itself, because these are the profile that they are targeting. Right? So next, let's check out the price analysis, whereby I compare what we expect River Modern to do versus what surrounding new launches has done. Guacoland has released their official indicative pricing for River Modern. So we can see here there is the starting price for the 2, 3 and 4 bedroom respectively. Per square foot wise, it is going to start from about 28xx PSF. So you can see here for the 28xx PSF, it applies for the 2 and 3 bedroom units. While the 4 bedroom units, actually we can see it is starting from 3134 PSF. Why is there such a phenomenon? Take note, for 2 and 3 bedroom, we have non-river facing units, while all the 4 bedrooms are all river facing units. So it tells us the river and non-river facing units, there are going to be some form of premium attached to it. Then let's have a refresher on the site map of River Modern. So where are the 4 bedrooms? These two are your 4 bedrooms. There are also 2 and 3 bedroom units that are going to be river facing. So for 2 and 3 bedrooms, you do have a choice of non-river or river facing. Hence, there will be a difference in terms of their pricing. For the 2 bed 1 bath, they are all going to be non-river facing. And for the smaller 3 bed 2 bath, there is also going to be the non-river facing option for you. Okay, so let's check out the price matrix. So before I begin, let me just give a disclaimer on how to interpret this price matrix. Aside from the official starting price that is given by Guacoland, the remaining numbers that you see here are purely indicative, purely my own generation. So in that sense, they are not official. We will only know the official price for each unit on launch day itself. Whatever numbers that you see here is for illustration and guidance and reference only. Alright, now with the disclaimer out of the way, let's continue on with the analysis. So with the starting price for non-river facing units from about 28 plus PSF, we can see for the 2 and 3 bedroom, these are the kind of pricing that we can expect them to start. So 2 bedroom for about 1.49, the 3 bedroom about 2.3. If you fancy the larger unit, it's probably going to be closer to 2.39 or something like that. And then for the non-river facing, personally, I feel it shouldn't exceed the 3004 to 3450 PSF range. How do I arrive at this PSF is from the usual Guacoland launches. They have been very consistent with their level to level price increment. So after factoring in consistent increment on every floor for the 2 and the 3 bedroom, I arrive at the numbers over here. So for a 2 bedroom unit, I don't anticipate them to cross the $2.2 million mark for non-river facing. And for the 3 bedroom, I don't anticipate them to cross the $2.85 million mark for the non-river facing 2 and 3 bedroom units. Is it possible that Guacoland may want to cross this? Yes, it's possible, considering the fact that this is going to be the last river fronting project. But I think the units that will cross will not be the non-river facing units. All right. Next, let's check out the river facing units, which majority of the specs here are going to have that. With that, I'll change it to blue. So with the indicative for the 4 bedroom at 4.588, it tells us the PSF starting from for river facing will be about 3,100 odd. Alright, so that is the reason why anything below this, I have blacked them out, because I don't think there will be any units at this pricing lah, since developer has already officially indicated to us. With a starting PSF around 3,100 odd, you can expect the 2 bedrooms to be around the 2.15 range. Okay, for the 678 and 689 square feet unit respectively, 2.15 range, and it can go all the way to about 2.5, 2.6. Is it possible to go beyond this? Possible, because this is the last river facing development in River Valley, and plus a bonus later I'll show you. You can get MBS view. Alright, so if Guacoland decides that there should be a bit more premium place for the higher floor units that enjoy this majestic view, it is possible for them to cross the 3,800 PSF mark into the 3,800 plus to maybe even as high as 4,000. Will it cross 4,000? I personally don't think so lah. It's very highly unlikely it will cross 4,000 PSF. Okay, so for the 3 bedroom, it will be the premium units, the flex units that will be getting the river fronting. So you can expect the 3 bedroom river fronting units to start from 2.8 plus for the smallest 893 square feet 3 bedroom flex. If you are gunning for the 3 bedroom premium, the best 3 bedroom layout in the development, expect pricing to be around 3.45 and above. Okay, because that is a different product. Is a, I would say, I would dare to even say that the 3 bedroom premium is a luxury product as compared to the 893 flex unit. All right, so that is the reason why there will be a bit of a difference in terms of pricing. Top end wise, I do expect the 3 bedroom flex to not cross the 3.4 million mark, hopefully. And then as for the 3 premium, it should top out at around 4.2 million. Next up, of course, 4 bedroom, right? So officially 4 bedroom has been indicated to us that it will be 4.588 starting from. So your top end prices based on a 3008 PSF is going to be around 5.5 for the 1464 and hopefully less than 7 million for the 1830. Like I said, is it possible to go beyond this price? It's possible, but I think chances is not very high unless developer decide to load a premium for the higher floor units. And why would they want to load the higher floor units? So let's check it out. So this is the view for both the non-river facing and the river facing. So non-river facing obviously is the north direction. River facing will be south direction. On the low to mid floor, as you can see, the non-river facing, you are for now going to be facing other developments lah. All right, basically is city skyline or views of surrounding condos on the low floor. So low floor is here. High floor will be this one. As indicated, I have actually even labeled them. So of course, on the higher floor, your view is a bit more unblocked. You can see further a little bit more sky, but generally it's still going to be the orchard skyline kind of a view. Okay, now let's turn our attention to the south river facing direction. So on the low floor to mid floor, you have already a green buffer here, and you can see the density of buildings is a lot less, right? And not forgetting, you have your river fronting, river view. But the magic comes when we go mid-high. So mid-high meaning to say around 20th floor all the way to the top at 36. You will get this view. And do you see what I see over here? That is MBS. And you get the full length of the river as well. You get to see the full length of the river and very low density form of buildings as compared to the northern view. So because of the factor that you get to see the stretch of river, which not very many developments are able to get, number one, MBS facing and the lower density of buildings giving you better privacy. Plus, don't forget the distance is also further to the nearest building, which is VVA. So this is VVA, this is VVA. I would anticipate if developer want to, they may load extra on the premium for the higher floor units. Okay, they may. Not guarantee, plus shop will do. So based on Guacoland's past project, they are actually pretty mindful of this and they haven't really done so. But as usual, they never do doesn't mean they won't do lah. So just be mindful. I don't expect PSF for River Modern to cross 3008 PSF even for the best facing tallest unit, but we'll just have to be careful in the event developer wants to place a bit of a premium for units with all these MBS view lah, river view lah, and low density kind of a view. Okay? Now, another reason why I never rule out the possibility of Guacoland pricing it above 3008 PSF is because if we look at Zion Grand's highest PSF done was 39. Of course, this is for the penthouse unit lah, and Zion Grand is 62 stories high. But this just shows that in the River Valley area, 3009 PSF has already been accepted and done deal. Okay? But again, I'm sounding like a broken recorder. I do not think Guacoland will price it beyond the 38 PSF lah. So as you can see, for both River Green and Promenade Peak, their price range or their PSF range is well within the 27 to about 35, 36 kind of a range. And to use River Green as a more accurate gauge, because they are just right next door and sitting within the same D9 River Valley area, they are doing between 2759 to 3591 PSF. However, like I mentioned, River Green land price was 1325 PSF, River Modern 1420. So in my previous video, I mentioned if everything remains the same, construction cost, financing cost, legal cost, everything remains the same, we can expect River Modern to be River Green plus 100 to 150 PSF, which based on the PSF that developer has released to us from 287 plus PSF, right? That is true to what I have predicted. So that will mean on the higher end, it should be closer to 37XX kind of a PSF. That is how I derive the highest PSF in River Modern to not hopefully cross the 3008 mark. Okay, but just be mindful, Zion Grand has done 3009 per square foot in River Valley area. So it is not something that is totally new and unheard of. Okay, so that is the reason why for pricing above 3008, I put them in red font. I would say unlikely but not impossible kind of a range lah. So again, use this price matrix that I have created with extreme care and caution. And if prices is true to what I predict, then of course, congrats. But also, a disclaimer again, this is again my prediction. It may not turn out as what I have predicted. It could be higher, it could be lower. So with that, I shall end this video. Present to you again on part 4 of the River Modern series where I compare with the surrounding resale. Thank you for now. Bye-bye.